Another successful job in the books for the team known as Chaos. After returning the top of the world casino to the people of Kadante, our heroes received their reward.
As promised as payment, here is the single densest atom ever discovered.
Now it's time to head home for some much-needed R&R. Next stop, the Lighthouse on Good Chaotic.
You're back on board the Vagabond. You have successfully delivered the top of the world casino to the Kadantans. They are going to restore it to its former glory, and it's now time to go home. Aboard the ship, Beep Boop, your AI, decides to appear in their physical form this time. In a combination of smatter and holograms, a being appears in front of you with a holographic face and says, "All right, team, I've calculated our trajectory for the lighthouse, and we will be there in 1 hour and 58 minutes. Good to go?"
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm hot to go. Yeah.
Excellent. And Beep Boop engages the drive. So
what's his face look like?
It's the most neutral face you can imagine.
Is it like Zordon-esque, or is it like
a little bit?
Is it like the mirror in the Shrek movies, like the man in the mirror?
I love that.
It's almost like you've got their body is made of the smatter so they can interact with things, and then the hologram part is basically like a layer on top of their head so they can have the full range.
So it's kind of half the AI from Halo and half Holly from Red Dwarf.
Sure, yeah.
Two things that I cannot visualize, so I'm so glad you chose those.
Cortana is the Halo AI.
Yeah. But it's a way that you can read facial expressions, they can express themselves, so on and so forth.
Express yourself. Yeah.
So we've previously established the feeling of when the Vagabond jumps to faster than light, but what does it look like? What do you see from inside the ship? What, if you were outside of the ship, what does your incredibly fast travel look like?
Okay, can I make I was just going to say, can I make a pitch?
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at me while I'm talking, so clearly yes.
Michael, you're the guy who knows weird science stuff.
Yeah, let's hit it. Me, with my funky science ideas. I'm an actual physicist at some point should probably sit me down and be like, hey, buddy.
Everything you've ever said is wrong.
We'll eventually get Aaron McDonald to do something for it.
Oh, she's great. She's 4 to 5 of my favorite Star Trek characters now. It's true. She's had a really good career. So I have this, when you say faster than light, the thing that pops in my head is like,
Is Flipper?
yes. How do you get out? It's not safe in there. But if we're moving faster than light, what if the way it looks in the interior of the ship is everything outside just goes black? Because if we're moving faster than light, the light cannot enter.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So there's just this like everything goes to like inside lighting suddenly as
I like
we
that.
switch to.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, we exit whatever the hell.
Which is tough for us because we don't know when we're back in our own time or traveling at faster than light speed because there's no stars anyways.
That's what makes, I also think is like a visual for dropping out. Like dropping out of faster than light is suddenly like, boom, we have this world surrounding us that we've like warped into.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
Jumped into. Yeah.
Makes me think. I think about like maybe there are kind of on terminals in the bridge or the cockpit or whatever the ship has are kind of trying to like not necessarily in real time but like render the flight path ahead of us, but it's kind of it's like the way that light speed works in, if I may bring it up again, Red Dwarf.
What's that?
By the time they see something, they've already flown through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I like the idea of that kind of the blackout, like literally going to light speed means you cannot perceive the light outside, but there are systems in place to try to give whoever's in the cockpit a visual of what is ahead, but because of the way that light and time works, it's always on like a half to 2 second delay. So I'm trying to play Super Smash Brothers online on the Wii, and there's just that little bit of lag that makes it interminable. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Beep Boop turns to Chase and says, I apologize that we didn't have a chance before the mission, but allow me to show you to your quarters. And Beep Boop starts walking down a hallway and indicates for you to follow.
Okay, yeah, I follow.
And you're led down just a few corridors, and Beep Boop shows you a door. And inside, the door opens upward because it's sci-fi. Why not? And inside is a completely plain gray room with nothing. And Beep Boop says, all right, your personal comms will allow you to customize your bunk exactly to your specifications. So if there's anything you need, just please feel free to ping me.
Okay.
And Beep Boop leaves you to it. So if you would like to build your bunk right now.
Can you give me heads up before you ask me to improvise an entire location? Like last time, it's like, hey, what does your ship look like? I'm like, I have no idea. I think right now, what she makes, and I might change this later as I like live in it more, but I think right now, I'm so overwhelmed that what I create is like your most generic like spaceship bunk you would see like in a sci-fi like show, like the bunk that like comes out of the wall and like has a mattress on it, and like there's like one plant like a little flower with white leaves on it, and it just looks very like industrial hull kind of thing. It might not even look like the actual hull of the Vagabond, just like what you think of as like the hull of a spaceship kind of thing set up. I think it's very like that, and there's maybe like what looks like a porthole window that looks outside. It might not be actually a real window outside. It might be like a virtual window that has like a screen of what's outside, but it looks like that. Like it looks, yeah. That's I think right now what I've got going on.
As you describe to your comm system what you want, all of these things are built with Smatter, and once it's done, you hear a voice from your comm system say, default room number 1 complete. Like what you have described is exactly like factory setting number 1. But no, I did want it to be you are starting with a blank canvas. That was why I didn't want to give you the heads up for it.
Gotcha.
But the rest of you, what do your bunks look like on the ship? You don't have to go to them right now, but I did want to spring this on everybody.
Oh, I'm ready. And BB's already in her bunk area because that's why there's no response. So if you have not yet watched Howl's Moving Castle, you do not need to because you can just Google it very quickly.
No, you need to watch Howl's Moving Castle.
You do need to watch.
I just didn't want to force anybody.
It's actually weird that you listen to the show and haven't watched Howl's Moving Castle.
It's true. They're interconnected.
Part of the same shared universe, yeah.
But Howl's bedroom is kind of how I imagine BB's little bunk area, just really inundated with all the different things that she's collected with her little klepto mitts. And she's like deep in it's that sort of contrast of darkness but with the jewel tone, so there's light in there because it's emanating from all the different slime and random radiation things that she's got going around. So there's a darkness to it, but it's very cozy, but she's deep in whatever, like there's just like piles of stuff and she's just deep in one somewhere.
Do you have a sign that says Home Sweet Hoarder's Nest?
Yeah, probably, with like a little bit of like goo like coming off of it, just a hair. She's probably licking some goo somewhere.
Amazing.
I think Killsphere's bunk is sort of I hate doing this, but it is perfect for this character. It's like this unknowable space. Like the door opens and there's just a pure black void inside, and like no one can really. There's just kind of like the sound of kind of like a.
Your ship has an unspeakable horror room.
That's Killsphere's quarters. Yes, that's where they sleep. It's soothing.
I hear a lot of Gregorian monk chants.
Yeah, I think if you went sort of deeper in, you would find various like sort of kind of natural formations and spaces for them to rest or like sit. Like there's a cat bed in the corner that they sleep in sometimes. There's, for some reason I'm imagining one of the walls is like a close up of an old school phone speaker. Like there's just a bunch of little holes in the wall that they can sort of nestle into for various like settings or comfort levels.
I was imagining kind of like a combination of like a papasan chair, but also like a thing like in football, like the thing, like the rest of the trophy ball on, like in the Super Bowl.
Don't know anything about football.
Or the thing like whenever it's like a trophy ball of some sort of game, like where like it's like a the base setting that has like that the ball goes on top of.
Oh, I love
I'm
that.
imagining a combo of that with like a cushion he pops on a chair. Like I love that you wouldn't need a cushion, but I like to imagine that you would have one.
Yeah, it's comfort. Yeah, absolutely. It's like an egg cup with a little cushion.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
very
so
nice.
funny.
There's like a little cover.
My question for you is: does Killsphere need to charge? Is this like an Apple Watch situation where there's like the contactless charging?
I genuinely, I think Killsphere charges on the background radiation of the universe. Like they are a product of. They are effectively like a process mechanism. They're designed to be self-sustaining and operate within the parameters of the end of a universe. So I think like literally Killsphere, yes, breathes and eats, but it's like subatomic matter.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Like they collect the excess carbon from people's hair and nail filings, but they don't like to talk
weirdly
about it.
not very dusty aboard this ship.
It is
even a little bit.
Yeah, they
Super clean.
consume the dust. Yeah.
Yeah, the HVAC system that does collect everything, just sometimes late at night, it's 2 a.m, Killsphere just goes there and is like eating like shredded cheese.
It's just a vent system that leads directly into Killsphere's core.
Yes, all the vents.
It's like a cat bowl.
Or like a hamster water bottle.
You know the cat bowls where like the cat can like push a button and then like it pops open the bowl like certain times a day. It's like that.
Yes. And then it's also like the 18th hole of every mini golf course.
Yes.
Like they can just go in every like one of the various.
Or
there's a windmill. There's another guy. Yeah.
The bear thing in in Lost that like you push the button and you get the fish biscuit.
That's
like
funny.
that
Yes, that's in there too. All of these things are in there, but you can't see any of them because it's pitch black and it's just an unknowable horror.
Good. It'll save us a lot on the budget.
The opposite of in Invincible, there's like the room that's like there's like a white light that like penetrates everything. So like you can't see anything in the room. It's just like a white void because and like unless you have like special glasses on that allow you to see the other things in the room. And like imagine it's like that but black. It's like it's like when they go to like hide their biggest secrets or whatever. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it. That's it. The dark room.
The dark room.
In a dark room with black curtains.
It puts me in mind of why did Data ever have the lights on in his quarters on the end?
He was trying to be human.
It's a television show.
Oh yeah.
Also, it's from the like structure of the room. It feels like they have stuffed Data in a water tank that they are not
it's
using.
definitely like a cargo container.
It's a very strange shape.
Yeah.
Data's room exists mostly for Spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also true.
Blast spot.
All right. So Trip Odometer's room, if you were to walk into the room, you could not tell you were on a spaceship. I think his quarters are very rustic. It's like I'm not gonna say a log cabin, but it's like a wooden shack, kind of like the barn, the doctor's barn on Gallifrey. It's kind of very rough. He has a kind of a very basic bed which doesn't even have mattresses. It has like the way that pre-mattresses, like in like the late 19th century in America, you'd have ropes with ropes that would kind of had to be tightened. That's why where the phrase sleep tight comes from. You'd have to tighten up the rope on the bed, and I think that's what he uses on his bed.
Toit.
And I think that the entire like the back wall of this cabin is exposed, and it's a very sophisticated hologram situation where if you're looking out through the windows of the cabin, or you're looking out through this bare wall, or looking up through like there are gaps in the roof, you just see the kind of these planes of kind of orange yellow kind of dying grass basically, and the planet is the view is just kind of grass as far as the eye can see, and the cabin itself is kind of very, very bare bones. There is just this very basic bed and kind of an end table, and on the end table there is a single photo in a beautiful wooden frame. It is clearly the only thing in this room that is really taken care of, including Trip. And there is a photo of a man who also has kind of a lilac skin, kind of a slightly different shade of lilac. And if anyone were to ever ask Trip about this photo, they're not going to get. And if they get an answer, it's not the same answer he gave someone else before.
How often does Trip lay on a couch and just look up at the photo and thumb it?
As often as Hugh Jackman will allow him to do so. Yeah. But yeah, this is a room of a person for whom comfort is no longer a priority.
He also has a separate photo of Hugh Jackman holding a photo
Of the person.
of the 95 or 96 X-Men Wolverine holding the photo.
And that photo is the
in
lilac.
That photo
yeah.
is the lilac person again.
Yeah. And that person's holding a photo of Trip.
It's the perfect draw. Still love it. Yeah.
If it's an hour plus before we're back to the lighthouse, Chase is spending that time the way somebody will spend hours in the character creation screen of Baldur's Gate or on a Pick Crew page.
I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah,
Neither do I.
it's just her cycling through various options and trying a thing and then going, no, I want, and like, so I'm just like cycling through menus until the scene changes.
Which answers the next question I was going to pose to all of you. The Vagabond is currently speeding along, not only through time, forward in time to the end of the universe, but also across unbelievably vast distances in space itself. So I would like to know how each of you spends your time, because it is going to take a little bit there. So yeah, we got Chase is in full on decorator mode.
Not even decorator mode is like ADHD executive dysfunction of like just cannot make decision paralysis mode is what I'm saying. So I'm thinking of that more than decorator mode, more just like she's so overwhelmed by choices that I'm just flipping through everything and not making any decisions.
I want to say in the background of that, you occasionally see BB cross the door like every so often, walking back and forth with different mechanical parts or different like collections of vials, and she just peers in every now and then. She peers in every now and then. Let me not lean away from the microphone.
Once in a while, you see like a jungle. Once in a while, you see like a spooky haunted house.
Just
you see
changes
like a theme
every
park.
time.
You see like briefly like a what should be a luxury hotel room, but like it seems like a small crew quarters and like a weirdly white and yellow
There's a big
theme.
pole. I don't know why.
There's a pole blocking a singer.
Yeah.
You know, one time she walks by and you're just like swimming and there's like a fish and like some coral and you're like,
yeah. One time it's an IKEA like restaurant. And I'm eating like weird meatballs.
I do think at some point it's like the virtual insanity video where you're standing there and the couch is like sliding.
At one point, she's in a field of dying grass and there's a cabin that she's looking at, and it's like, no, this isn't right.
And then she sees you and she goes, "Hey."
Hi.
That doesn't work in audio, but like, yeah.
At one point, it's the aha video, and it's just like it's all animated.
You're in a house and you look out and there's one person with a green diamond over their head and you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here.
I think that's the wrong setting. You want to get past that one. I got stuck there for months.
How did I get here?
I don't know, but they don't speak like we do. They're like,
This is not my beautiful house. That's not my
The
beautiful sim.
translator can't translate Simish.
I like the idea that the Sims thing is that she's now made a Sims room, but then she's having the same decision paralysis about the Sims world. Like she's trying to build a house for the Sims in her room.
I think at one point you have loaded so many templates and options and things, you actually, even though this is like a unbelievably powerful supercomputer, you get the thinking spinning.
Oh yeah, I have lagged my own design space. Absolutely.
You see the spinning beach ball and then you spend another 20 minutes on different beach ball designs?
Yes. Oh my god. The Smatter is like, Chase, Smatter's gonna need a second. You gotta let Smatter have a moment to itself.
The Smatter's smired. It needs a smap.
Yeah, Beep Boop is like, Chase, just calm down. We're going at light speed. Stop you hogging our energy.
You look at a terminal and there's Beep Boop like with a cigarette in a hand. Just going, Jesus Christ.
Beep Boop occasionally will pop up like Clippy. Like, I would be more than happy to offer assistance. Okay, you're dismissing me.
I'm gonna figure it out. God, leave me alone.
Amazing. You know, you don't have to have the gravity oriented to the ground, right? Just put
3 hours of that I know.
change the setting. I couldn't find the button to change it back.
It's the Spinal Tap where I've glued the things to the ceiling.
Yeah. How much of this is usable?
All of it. Yeah. So what are other folks doing with their time here? It's up to you if you want to create a new corner of the ship.
Well, what I will say is that I think that Trip's thing is kind of a prelude to his vice, in that he's already like pulled out his like pocket communicator and is messaging to his dealer back at the lighthouse. I need help. Why
don't you explain that a little bit for those who may not have listened to Session 0?
So in the Scum and Villainy system, you have there is a vice system. And the vice that I have is stupor, which basically means that Trip Odometer is self-medicating with a drug, and we have named this drug Help, which does make it incredibly difficult to kick that habit, because when people tell you you need to get some help, the person who is addicted to the help goes, I know, that's what I'm trying to do. Either help me find a new dealer or get out of my way. And it's kind of a comedy of errors with that name. There are people who were addicted to other drugs who were told to get help. I'm like, actually, I've not tried that before. And then they get addicted to help. It's a vicious cycle, which is, it's like a unicycle, only pointier.
So Trip is occasionally looking at their comm device, like hopefully waiting to hear back from the person.
Yeah, they've sent this initial message, I need help, and they're waiting to hear back. And they see that it's been seen. And then they, I think over the course of an hour, they keep checking their phone. They see it's been seen. I'm not going to be too keen. I'm not going to be too anxious. And then they start messaging, hey, are you there? ? Seen. I need help! ! Are you going to be there when we get there? And then there's just a string of messages, and the half-life between the sending of each message is getting gradually shorter and shorter as the need kicks in.
And what is that doing to Trip psychologically?
He's stressed. He's definitely he's stressed. He has if anyone were to interact with him right now, he's probably a little short. He's probably trying very hard to mask the fact that he has this addiction, and I don't know how much the rest of the crew knows about it, but he's probably trying very hard to mask the fact that he's jonesing right now and that he needs help. And probably is not doing a terribly good job of it. I think anyone who would interact with him right now can probably tell that there is a difference in tone and demeanor right now with Trip.
It's interesting because whenever Trip is really, really high on his help, he has a specific reaction, and everybody else starts calling themselves based on what you do. So everyone's like, watch out for them. They're tripping.
Illegal.
Should I go? Should I leave? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that is a golden rap on Riley.
That's a series
just a
finale.
hole in the ship just blows you in
Yeah. Yeah, you try too hard to make your room happen and you're dead now.
Small piece of space shrapnel.
Which is a warning to everybody. Don't spend too long making your characters in video games or you'll die. Especially if you're high right now, because you'll be high forever.
If you're high in the game, you're high in real life.
Yeah. I'm gonna be high.
Yes, that's why I always play druids.
So BB has been carrying odds and ends past Chase's room.
Yeah,
but what has BB been doing?
She's tinkering, and Ben was just sharing about Trip's vice. She's also kind of indulging in her vice, which, if you did not listen to Session 0, is slime. It makes me laugh every single time. Not the slime that you think of, everybody, with all the beads and the soothing thing. No, very weird, different liquids, I'm gonna say, that they find out in outer space.
I only ever assumed it was weird. I never assumed it was some normal normal slime is not that might be the episode title, because I don't know what the fuck that means. That's not a thing that exists. Normal slime.
This is the question. Do you just collect the slime? Do you have the slime?
She collects them, and then she kind of plays chemist. That's why there's always different vial mixtures. But I don't think that there's any sort of chemical bad reaction. There's never been an explosion.
I'll tell you what. Make a fortune roll right now. Just one die.
One die.
While you're rolling, I want to say BB is frequently frustrated whenever she goes on YouTube looking for slime tutorials, and it's just constantly bootlegs of Broadway musicals.
Yes, I love this so much, and I
didn't know that was a thing. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. And everybody if you have a copyright for it, don't look for slime tutorials of your show, because I want them to stay online and so I can watch them.
Well, then never mind. I didn't hear a thing.
I rolled a 2. I think there was an explosion.
Not so much an explosion, but when you mix
an explosion of illegal Broadway music.
That I will claim. I will claim that one.
I was going to say it's like when you mix baking soda and vinegar, like when you make
sugar,
a volcano.
Butter, flour, sugar, butter, flour.
I do like that. You mix two slimes that normally shouldn't go, and you realize, oh no, you've made a mistake, and you brace yourself for some sort of chemical reaction, but the slimes start singing.
That would be great. We have singing slime.
Yeah,
yes.
but because you rolled a 2, I'm going to make something bad happen.
No, that's fine.
It is very loud and very disruptive. So now the ship is sort of haunted by singing slime for 15 minutes.
That sounds great to me. I'm perfectly fine by this. I feel like these things happen occasionally. overflowing of slime birds coming out.
At least this slime didn't start referring to you as mommy as so many previous ones have.
Yeah. Let's be grateful, everybody. BB doesn't need any more slime progeny.
I do think
more slimes.
we do need to address the question of whose quarters share walls.
Oh, that is important.
I thought you were going to ask whose slime is it anyway.
I'm going to
That's the
ask you.
episode title.
Not whose
And I
slime is
say-
it anyway.
I don't know, and then slime falls on my head.
Yes, and slime.
I feel like BB and
New choice.
Killsphere probably are next to
but
each
slime.
other. Maybe she's
New choice.
burrowed through the wall, but she doesn't quite know it because of the void. So she just thinks it's like her secret hiding hole. So she keeps hiding things in there. So
There's
I don't
like
know how Killsphere is reacting to
Pile
that.
of shit in the corner of Killsphere's void.
I don't know if they've noticed.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like,
Void,
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think they're just like, oh, huh. How'd they get there?
Well, we know that my quarters are somewhere between where you get equipment and yours because you're walking past it.
Yeah.
So
probably Chase's is probably the loudest because it's next to the like
Ice
mechanic. Yeah, the ice machine, which is the mechanic room.
yeah.
ICE, short for intergalactic.
Coolant extract.
Ooh,
It's just an ice machine.
It is an ice machine.
It's
Yeah,
an ice
that's what it's
machine.
for.
That's
Yeah.
why it's an intergalactic coolant.
The closer and closer we get to the lighthouse, the more on edge Chase seems to be becoming. Like she just feels a little bit, if people are paying attention, like her body language is a little bit more stressed out and tense.
Does that mean that Trip is like off in a separate part of the ship altogether, and that's why they're struggling harder? Or are you close to us?
I think we're probably the way that I visualize this, and feel free to tell me to shut up if this is not how you will see it. But I'm basically picturing like where the crew quarters are is like there's a hallway or a corridor, and then there are basically the 4 doors.
Oh, mhm.
Or the other visual I had was like it opens into like a round space, and so
Oh, I
there
like
are
that.
one,
I like
two,
the
three,
roundy.
4, and then one exit. So I kind of like imagine the Nostromo, but with into these kind of separate quarter areas, and so
Yeah.
so we almost all of us share a wall with 2 others, except for where that entrance is, unless there's like a stairwell that kind of rises up into it, in which case it's kind of a full circle and we're all sharing walls. So yeah, I think we're all close together. I think that Trip right now is not in his quarters. I think Trip is near the icy machine, which is the intergalactic coolant extract enhancer, which adds flavor to the ice.
Oh,
And is currently sucking on a cherry Coke icy.
It doesn't have cherry Coke. It has the flavors red and blue.
I will take it.
It's better than water and milk, like a certain sci-fi series.
What? Who what's
chooses
milk?
that? Yeah.
What's milk? Like what creatures? You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I have a long conversation about how it's kind of strange to me when people choose milk as like a dinner drink.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a little rough. Like you're having spaghetti and meatballs and milk.
I have family experience with.
I feel
this.
like that was what it was like for me as a child, but then like I realized I stopped because I got older.
Right. I feel like children, I pass.
Yeah.
It's just when it comes to the adults, I'm like, bones are brittle?
Now, exception to this, I do think chocolate milk is an acceptable dinner beverage.
Yeah, I'm just talking about plain old.
Especially if regular milk get to Satan's bedroom, but like if you're going for a chocolate milk, like that's is it the Bengal barbecue in Adventureland? You get like a skewer and a thing of Nesquik. Like,
Oh, wow.
For me, that's a go-to. I think I have made 3 of the people in this room kind of separately need to pull their their evacuation.
Your love of chocolate milk is known well enough that I'm not surprised by it anymore.
I didn't know this, and now I am aware.
Yeah.
The best chocolate milk in America, by the way, that you cannot find in stores right now is when Nesquik does their dark chocolate milk, because it tastes
Yeah,
so
it's
much like
really
there's a
good.
brand in the UK called Yazoo.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorites.
Oh.
And dark chocolate Nesquik tastes close enough to Yazoo that it makes me homesick.
Yes, you always drove me not bonkers because it's like so many of them have hats. So it's like, which one of you has a hat? Which one of you has a mustache? Like, there's a lot of them with mustache. It doesn't really help you.
The way I thought this was going to go, Ben, was like, the best kind of chocolate milk is made by my friend Philip. He just stands in the back of a grocery store and he'll just hand it out to, and sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not.
It's me, Philip. Would you like
I'm
the chocolate?
frequently texting Philip saying, I need chocolate milk. Are you there?
Philip,
are you available? Philip, where are you?
It comes in unlabeled bottle. Don't ask where it come from. Don't make any subtle moves.
Bring back your bottle. I wash bottle. I put new chocolate milk in.
That's how we know it's organic.
Chocolate
Answer no questions.
must be stored at no more than 60 degrees. Over 60 degrees, bad things will happen.
It becomes slime.
It called you mama.
One time I left the bottle.
I mean, to be
on
fair,
top.
I also wouldn't drink milk that was being stored at 60 degrees or higher. Like, that sounds disgusting.
Unless Philip's doing it. Then,
Okay. Yeah.
Philip's special chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Get it from a
Our new
brown
merch
cow.
coming soon to the Kikadic store.
Philip's special milk.
Philip's haunted chocolate milk.
It's just the
Honestly, Philip's haunted chocolate milk sounds more appealing than Philip's special milk. Like, if I had to drink a milk from a guy named Philip, I would definitely choose his haunted milk over his special milk
Hello.
any day of the
Philip
week.
is good milk.
And I think our episode might now be Philip's special milk.
Yeah, this is like, desperately seeking an episode title. The episode, not really.
Good for a bone.
Just one of
Good for
them.
a long bone.
Oh my God, your
One
commitment
at a
still
time.
being Philip
Hello.
is great.
Hello to me. I make so you no idea how much money I make from my secret special haunted milk.
Boris, Natasha, Phil.
Yes.
The finest Eastern European villain.
Yes, we finally got distribution deal. You can find my haunted milk in Macy's.
Now available.
Macy's of all
We're
places.
at the back with the belts. Don't ask about it. Just buy.
Move the right shoe at the right time. There is a bottle of milk in it.
You have to drink it out of a Jansport bag.
Fresh out of the boot. It is the best way.
Now in diet and regular.
Diet and regular. Would you like a glass of sparkling haunted milk?
Holy hell.
We have many flavors. We have strawberry. We have orange and mint.
Orange and mint.
Yeah. It sparkles. It wasn't doing that before. I have done nothing to change the process. But now it sparkles.
It's a vampire.
Like easy drink.
It's a vampire milk.
It make you good at the baseball.
Bat milk. It is fresh from the bat.
Fresh from it's bat adjacent. I'll tell you that for free. I tell you it's good. We're doing good numbers. We are not the number one supplier for Hardee's, but not Cars Jr. They draw a line at the Cars Jr.
But what about Buc-ee's?
They know what they did.
They spit on Buc-ee's. They can get to hell with their Buc-ee's drinks.
They know what they did.
They know what they did, those bastard
It's those
fucks.
beaver nuts. Those beaver nuts
Don't
get
get
you.
me started. We were going to be at the Five Guys, but 3 of the guys said no. It was not. They did not have a quorum.
The Council of Guys.
The Council of
Mario,
Guys.
Luigi, Waluigi,
And-
Wario, and Princess Peach. She's one of the 5 guys. You know what? I don't know if we need to do any narrative stuff.
Good.
We could just switch to a riffing show.
Killsphere.
We were doing. Yeah, I think Killsphere is. They're reviewing the mission logs from the heist, checking on the sort of the how things went, how Chase integrated in with the team as well, as it was her first mission. They're sort of looking at the various probabilities and other ways it could have gone, but. That's what's happening, inside. To the outside perspective, they're sort of ominously hovering in a black space.
Oh, so you are in your bunk. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. You all begin to feel the vagabond slow down and finally drop out of faster than light. Through the ship's cockpit windows, you see it. The last star in the universe. Whereas all of the other lights in the night sky have gone dark, this star continues to burn brightly, thanks to the lighthouse. The massive space station designed by the smartest minds from every corner of space and time. Located in the star's Goldilocks zone, the lighthouse is an acute octahedron, an 8-sided die pulled tall at its top and bottom points, and its edges smooth and sleek. Its glossy, gray-white exterior gleams in the starlight, especially around its midpoint, where a narrow, crescent-mooned ring half surrounds the station, opening outwards away from the star. The ring is an integral part of the lighthouse's primary function, projecting a field around the star, slowing down its relative time, and therefore prolonging its collapse, keeping the universe alive a bit longer. During the lighthouse's 143,000 and change year operation, the star has only lost 0.006% of its mass. But the lighthouse is not alone. As the universe grew darker, word of the lighthouse was spread near and far. If you have nowhere else to go, look to the last light in the sky. Come to the lighthouse. And over time, people came. Now, a fleet of nearly 7,000 ships orbit the star, some as small as single-pilot ships, others carrying entire planetary populations, but all with the same goal: to live, because no one should be alone in the darkness. Welcome home. The comm system chirps in the Vagabond, and you hear from the other end, "Vagabond, this is Lighthouse Flight Control. We have you in our system. We will take it from here." And Beep Boop chimes in, says, "Copy that, Lighthouse, pairing with operations." And your ship automatically begins to dock. You head towards a massive opening in the side of the lighthouse. And don't forget, your ship is the size of a building, so this is a huge hangar that you are heading into. And gently as setting down something delicate on a table, that's as specific as I'm going to get right now,
Hell yeah.
the Vagabond lands, and immediately the flight crew at the lighthouse begins to take care of your ship. There are around 50 or so workers of every sort of design you could imagine for a life form. Some bipedal, some anomalous to describe, some are organic, some are technological. But these are people who have dedicated themselves to working for Chaos at the lighthouse, and they begin to fill in the holes from the blaster fire. They begin to refuel the ship. They begin to take care of all of the nitty-gritty stuff. And when the door opens and the four of you appear, there are cheers. And this is usually what happens when you arrive home from a mission, because the team called Chaos do the things that are beyond the pale. No one can quite comprehend the importance of your mission. They just know that you are the ones who get things done and help continue the lighthouse's operation. And most of you know a lot of the flight crew because they have been there for the entire time you have been there, whether as part of the team or whether you're living on the lighthouse. But they are part of the community and the culture that has evolved over these 143,000 years. When people come to the lighthouse, they still maintain their own identity, but over time, just like in any situation, cultures begin to meld together, and the culture of the lighthouse is one of collective working together for the better good. And it feels like a hero's welcome every time, but you know that the things you do on those missions don't necessarily count as heroic. Sometimes you have to make those hard choices. So there is that same bittersweet feeling when you return to the Kodantans, knowing that their future was uncertain. It's almost unnerving to be hailed as a hero, knowing the cost that being a hero can sometimes be.
I have a quick question about that. How much do the residents of the lighthouse know about what specifically we do?
Specifically, not much. You're basically the worst kept secret in the fleet, in that people know that there is the team. Some people know it's called Chaos. Some people have heard it's called something else. They just know that there's an elite group who performs these missions. Some people are more privy to that information than others, but you know, you are residents here, so people do know you, and some people do know exactly what it is that you are doing.
When Chase comes out of the ship, I'm wearing a mask that covers my face that's made out of smatter, and it's almost like made out. Almost looks like a pair of like old timey flight goggles, like steampunky a little bit. I'm trying to think of like a best way to describe it, but it's somewhere between like Star-Lord's mask or like the Breen mask on Star Trek or like an Iron Man. Like it's like a full. I'm kind of imagining like it has like a breathing tubes around her chin, and then like maybe there's like a glass type like visor, but it's like fogged up, and then you have the like flight goggles. So it's just a mask that she's using to cover her face when she gets off the ship.
Cool.
It's probably also what she looks like when she's in space, like doing like outside the ship kind of things. Like when she was doing the grappling hook stuff in the previous, that's kind of what was going on with her then too.
Whenever it's the stunt double.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And right away, you are met when you exit the ship. You are met by the crew chief, a larger than life individual, crew chief M. Jack. He is older. And he's kind of a big guy, and he comes up to you with his arms spread wide and says, "There's my favorite team." Wait a minute. There's blaster holes. You let them shoot blaster holes into my ship? And looks just dead at Killsphere because you're the captain. It's like, I thought you were going to stop them from shooting holes in my ship. What do you have to say for yourself, Sphere?
Killsphere sort of hovers out from the rest of the group towards M-Jack. M-Jack, we agreed these are not museum pieces. They are functional items.
You're so easy to get a rise out of. And he grabs you like with one hand and pulls you in for a hug, basically, up to his heart. It's like, I'm just giving you a hard time. But seriously, you gotta stop shooting holes in the ship. It's just a nightmare. But it's great to see everyone. Don't worry about all of this. We're going to take care of everything. Breline! And he calls off to another worker. The chief engineer, Breline, walks up. She is a synthetic sentient. She is completely made of metal. She's not quite made out of smatter. She's made out of more of almost like a liquid metal on her face, so that when she speaks, you can get more of a reaction to when she speaks. And she has wires for hair that are pulled back in a really cute ponytail.
Love it.
And she's in a jumpsuit, and she's like, "You've got to stop giving them a hard time you love filling blaster holes more than anything, M-Jack. And Breline, stop. I'm trying to be the tough guy here." And Breline walks up to the two. It's like, "If you want me to push him out of the airlock, all meatbags got to go." And she laughs, and it's like the cutest laugh you've ever imagined. She goes, "It's just really nice to see all of you. We're going to take care of the ship, and I'll take care of M-Jack." And she punches him on the arm, and he's, "Ow! God,
his arm goes flying off.
That's going. I'm gonna have to get some med lab for that. But don't worry, folks. It's great to have you back. But the admin wants to see you right away, so you should head to our office."
And Killsphere has been like in this hug with M-Jack, and they do this thing where the surface of Killsphere becomes more sort of tactile, and they roll around M-Jack's like torso and end up on like the sort of parrot position on his shoulder, and then takes off and hovers away. Thank you for informing me, M-Jack. I shall head to the command deck now. I will leave you to your fun hole filling.
Well, when you say it that way, it sounds absolutely horrible. But yeah, we'll take care of you.
Turnabout is fair play, M-Jack. And Killsphere floats away.
So the crew begins to take care of your ship, and you have officially been summoned by the administrator of the lighthouse.
I think Trip asks, "Do we have to go there straight away, or do I have time to make a couple of pit stops?"
Brilliant immediately says, "Oh, no, she was in a bit of a mood. Right away, she's very interested in getting mission debrief, and I believe you have something from the mission to deliver?"
Yes. So Killsphere this whole time has also had the world's tiniest pelican case hooked to their side with the densest element in the universe in it. So yeah, they're hovering with and taking the world's smallest pelican case of the world's densest atom ever upstairs.
Great. The four of you are you exit from the hangar bay, and you're walking through one of the corridors of the lighthouse. The majority of the lighthouse does look very similar. It's very whitish light and light colored walls with dark, shiny floors. And there are lots of people. The lighthouse is the size of Manhattan, and there are millions of people on board. But where you are right now, there tend to be a lot more of the people who work for the lighthouse itself, as opposed to being a resident. So now I'm going to read the headline that I wrote for this next part called, "And now a segment I call I Know My Friends Very Well."
Uh-oh.
I want you all to describe what the standard lighthouse uniform looks like.
Shit. Oh, shit. Daniel?
Okay, everyone who's about to say solid primary colors, please raise your hands. It's just me. Yeah, I'm thinking probably some solid primary colors, like maybe a blue and a yellow, and maybe there's a red in there.
I don't know. It seems sus.
So I am, unfortunately, I've recently been watching a lot of The Expanse, which means to me, spacesuits are now just race driver coveralls with stuff on them. But also, like, I always really liked in classic Star Trek how there were just a bunch of engineering guys in bathrobes, or like karate gis, like just doing pipe shit in the background of stuff.
So they're called karate guys. And they do...
I'm a karate gi. Wait, anyway, this is just for me.
Everybody was Darn it, I messed it up. I was trying to say fixture tightening. Like everybody was fixture tightening. Sorry.
That's fantastic.
I like the idea. I do like the Star Trek, like the casual captain's outfit, like the green top that's like got the tie to it, like a little bit of tie. And I think there is, like, to quote our friend and one of our spouses, Mandy, who talks about how, like, the nice thing about old school Star Trek was, like, you could dress like a slut, but that didn't mean that you weren't, like, a scientist. And, like, that was, like, a nice, like, a vibe of it. So I think there is, like, I think for people who aren't necessarily doing, like, nitty gritty stuff, I think there is the option for that cool, like, 60s style sci-fi uniform.
I like that.
But it is, like, completely, like, a choice. Like, you can choose to have, like, a pantsuit type, like, more like a Strange New Worlds type thing, or you can have, like, the cool mini skirt and boots if you want to have that.
Because people have options.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. I don't think everybody would want to wear the same. I mean, we can't obviously make that happen. It's our world.
Well,
but
especially with the adaptive clothing, if one day you feel like having one outfit, you can have it.
Yeah, I think there's not like an official uniform as much as there are, like Ben was saying, primary color coding for depending on what your task is.
I like
and
that.
you are allowed to kind of do different things within that space to be like either your personal preferences or like your cultural background. Like there's not like a specific, like, this is what you have to wear.
It's very much like going to Starbase 1 in Star Trek Online, where, like, everyone has kind of a Trek flavored uniform, but there's, like, there's no two people in the same space.
It's like going into a Star Trek convention.
Yeah.
May I suggest a metallic color scheme instead of primary colors?
Could be both. Could be
Both. It should have
blend.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be both.
Yeah.
As someone who does not look good in metallic colors, I would prefer not to have a...
I think it's optional. I feel like there's probably an element.
Some people
of,
are
like,
naked, yeah.
Yeah, some people are just wearing fucking nothing, and I think that's cool. I'm glad for them. Yeah, I think I would like to push forward a little more, not just the uniforms, but, like, if the Smatter can change the uniforms. I don't know where we are medically, but if there are, like, gender fluid people who want to use the Smatter to, like, change their gender representation
I
on a
love
day-to-day
that.
I like that, yeah.
I love that so much.
I want to steal something from Charlie Jane Anders' Unstoppable series, which is like the translators automatically kind of like understand what you're going for gender wise. And like when it translates for everybody, it adjusts your pronouns based on like what you're feeling. And like, it can be maybe a little bit like stating it yourself or you're feeling for it. But yeah, like it's like there's not the translators refuse to allow people to be misgendered, basically.
I love that.
Not that people would in this time and age, but I think like that's part of it.
I think there are anachronistic people who would. That was one of the things I wanted to say about sort of the uniforms is that the wide mix of them also would probably come from the diversity of the people on the station.
Yeah.
They're from different times. They're from
Exactly.
different fashion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And because culture has evolved to have its own lighthouse culture, there's cyclical,
Yeah.
the same way regular fashion is. Yeah, the same way they constantly change the Star Trek uniforms with every generation.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that- There's always
But
a
you get
refresh,
people who are like, I like the TNG version better. I'm like,
Yeah, I got to go back to even in that era. You have the Type Bs and the Type As. You have the TNG versus the DS9. And
Yeah.
This is, you're so right. You do know me. The one other TNG thing I would say let's
Please say
pull
scan. Please
is
say scan. Please say scan.
no. Is the symbol I sort of set up at the end of last episode? That's the circle with the chunk taken out, the diamond taken
yeah.
out. I think that's sort of an overall, like, maybe some people have it just like spray painted on their back, or
It's an emblem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not so much like a specific comm badge, but it's something that people would integrate into their
Emblematic
fashion,
in
their
some
art.
way. Yeah. I imagine like really great, like maybe somebody makes it out of like jewels or like, as you're saying, spray paint, so on and so forth, different quilt pieces.
some people have it tattooed. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
You know, the nature of this matter clothing too is it can be like literally woven in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it looks
Oh yeah.
built
Love
in.
it.
Yeah, the reason I set it up as a general uniform is that to give it a sense of everything feels the same, but no two people necessarily have the same outfit because of that, because it's not a military organization.
And also, we're not a TV show that has to have a budget of costumes that like
La, la,
you
la,
make
la, la,
20
la.
of the same costume. Instead, it's like anybody can be wearing whatever. So
Yeah, there's no need to constantly pull down the jacket front to straighten out the seams or anything.
yeah.
This isn't a Star Wars. God.
You continue down the hallway and you step into the local teleporters. Because the lighthouse is so massive, teleporters are used primarily to get from key locations because it would take too long and the mechanics required. Anyway, you can teleport.
Beavers have tiny legs.
Exactly. So
Hello.
you proceed to one of the teleporters and it asks you, where would you like to go?
Command,
Very good.
take us to our leader.
And the four of you are teleported outside of the lighthouse main control center. And the door opens as soon as you approach it. There's no guard or anything like that because
It's a big circle and there's a little diamond and the little diamond glows and the circle goes. It's like a whole lighthouse.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm down with that.
Cool.
and you step into the main control center. And this is a very, very tall room with a high conical ceiling. And in front of you in the center of the room is sort of like a console display. It's circular. There are lots of logistics being projected from their flight control for the various ships in the fleet, information about operations, so on and so forth. There are crew members around who are manning their stations. But the far end of the room, there is a terminal about the size of an upright piano. And from there, holographic screens and images and information are being projected nearly all the way up to the top of the wall. And there is a person looking at all of this information, and her back is to you. And you can see on these screens that there is just an insane amount of information. And the person with her back to you, she has white hair and she's wearing a white sort of lab coat, trench coat combination, and she is gesticulating and information is flying in and out. And she at one point puts her arms out to the side and she lifts off the ground so she can get closer to some of the information that's higher up, and she is moving information down. She is processing all of this, and one of the screens in front of her blips to indicate that chaos has returned. And she turns around and very elegantly ascends to the ground. And this is Kimberly Gordon, the administrator of the lighthouse. Officially, the lighthouse keeper, but she absolutely hates that name. She thinks it's stupid, and do not call her that. She is an older woman. She's probably, from the look of it, in her 80s. She has white, straight hair parted down the middle, about shoulder length. She is basically Helen Mirren if she were playing Silver Sable from Spider-Man comics. And
I just want to say on behalf of the team, you're welcome, Riley.
Yeah, thank you.
And she is wearing underneath her her lab coat of sorts. She's wearing a variation of the lighthouse uniform. Hers is green and black and white. Not that it necessarily represents anything. This is just how she thinks it looks cool. She's very stylish. And she looks at the four of you and says, "Mission report?"
We have recovered the atom.
And she holds out a hand gesturing to you to give it to her.
I float over and drop the world's tiniest pelican case in her palm.
Thank you, Killsphere. She opens up the case, looks at it, looks at the little canister that holds the atom inside. She says, "Lab 34," and the canister teleports away. Anything else I should know about this mission?
It's perfect. It went exactly as we intended, with no major hiccups to speak of.
She looks at you with an air of, "Okay, I don't necessarily believe you, but I'm going to choose to."
We made contact with the Codantans, and I provided them the location of the lighthouse should they need it.
Excellent. Thank you, Killsphere. Anything else I should know?
I didn't steal anything this time.
This is correct.
Don't worry, though. You'll get something next time.
Thank you. It's my emotional support hobby.
It's how you stim, right? You stim.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only thing that keeps me sane around here.
Additionally, I should note that Chase's first mission was a tremendous success. Of note were her fighter piloting skills.
Yeah, she did all right. She carried herself well out there.
Although, don't let her choose your room. It takes her forever.
I think she's still actually dialing through. I'm picturing you now. Look, like you're on your little comm device.
Yes, I'll take that gift. Yes, I'm 100% like, what? Like, I think I've been anxious and like avoiding eye contact in general. And yeah, you look down and I have like, I'm not like a foam. I imagine that we have like almost like a hologram that's almost like a phone, but like it's like comes out of her. Like I think she's definitely like flipping through different things, and like it's 100% like stimming. Like she has almost like a fidget cube, and she's just like fidgeting with different room design.
I'm definitely picturing it as being like the Ziggy interface from Constant Loop.
Yes. She's actually reading a Ziggy comic. And she's like, this little guy, no one gives him any respect. Yeah. I'm like, it was good. It was a good, and it's all being filtered through like a voice modulator in the helmet. So it's very much like a, it was good. Like not like that, but yeah.
And Kimberly looks at all of you and says, "Okay, well, I've got a lot to do. So you are all dismissed. Chase, hang around for a second."
Okay.
Killsphere, you cannot be nosy. Come on.
I do not possess a nose. You are correct. And Killsphere floats away. And I don't know how you would perceive Killsphere turning back around, but they do that. Like they turn back and look at the other two crewmates that are like, "We should allow Chase this time alone with the Keeper." And Killsphere floats away.
Kimberly is very composed, but you can see like that thing where you bite on the inside of your jaw, and you see her like the micro expression of her jaw tensing up at that. And
it's a macro expression.
This micro expression.
So the three of you head out, and as you're doing so, Kimberly says to everyone else in the room, "Give us the room." And without even a second hesitation, everyone else heads outside, and everyone does, and the door closes, and Kimberly drops a bit of her steely demeanor, and two smatter chairs appear, and she says, "Please sit."
I go ahead and drop my mask, and I'm now talking to her face to face.
And she sits down. She's incredibly elegant, but she is still an intimidating presence. And now, Chase, you are sitting across from your grandmother.
Thank you for listening to Good Chaotic. The Good Chaotic crew is Châu Kate Lê, Ben Paddon, Riley Silverman, and Michael Nixon. Our GM is Dan Peck. Our theme music was created by Daphne Sacklines. Follow us on social media at Good Chaotic Pod, or join us in our Discord to hang out with other fans, share fan art, and talk about the episodes. If you'd like to help support the show, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts, or by becoming a patron at patreon.com/goodchaoticpod. And also, tell your friends. It really helps us get the word out and get new listeners. Until next time.
What if we just did a riff?
My stomach hurts from laughing and I can't stop.
This is like Finarg levels of like I can't even.
This is all staying in.
It has to. There's nothing that's cuttable. It's gorgeous.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
Ow!
All right, let's take a 3 count. And
Oh my
compose ourselves and
God.
move on. Ben, this was amazing.
That was so good.
Like, yeah, it's all going in.
Philip the special milk guy, like it's just there's a character I do for Mandy called the Macy's scent gremlin. Because they used to do these Macy's commercials on YouTube TV and be like, at Macy's, the scent destination. It's like,
Hello, come to me. I have new smell for you. It is delicious and
That explains why Macy's was your first store.
the scent destination.
It's all coming together.
that voice is just the guy from The Name of the Doctor.
I have information, valuable information.
For a half second that you were going so close to being Watto that it was like
pull up.
Yeah.
Terrain.
The Doctor, he has a secret, you know. One he will take to the grave.
He is a Jedi.
Those Jedi marches work on me.
Only money.
Okay.
Let's roll some chance.
your almond milk does not work on me.
I need to make a phone case that says Philip's special milk now. Put milk jugs everywhere and have no
Oh
explanation.
my god, that's gonna have to be a t-shirt.
We're gonna have to do it now.
I want it to be like one of those old school milk cans, like the glass can, and like just spilling the milk liquid everywhere.
The silk won't work on me, only dairy.
Hope you brought your lactate.
Oh no, there's no lactose in this.
There's no lactose in this galaxy.
It's lactate free. I don't know what to tell you.
There's actually a new chemical called lacthrese in it. It's very weird.
It's horrible. We started doing cookies and cream flavor. The cookies just appeared one day. What do you want? I don't know where they come from.
So did the cream.
Yes.
Okay,
It's all bad.
we have to put a cap on
Yeah.
You sure?
this bit. Yes,
I just keep going for 3.5
This bit
hours.
has been thoroughly milked. Like truthfully, but I love it. No.